Yeah, I mean, I've been working, hard all season, and it's great to have an opportunity to come. And I'm just really grateful that worked out tonight and had some shots fall, and it kind of came, flow of the game kind of came easy. So, yeah, just really excited and grateful for the opportunity to get the win first and foremost too.
Jackson, did you sense that the team needed kind of a lift, that was a little lethargic to start? Looked like maybe the Thursday loss had kind of a hangover effect.
I mean, yeah, we did start slow. It was kind of the same thing Thursday too, a little slow start. But I kind of knew coming to the game we would need some more spark off the bench, some more guys to play, especially with Gabe being out. So I knew I kind of had to be ready to if my number was called to go compete. So.
What was it like? I mean, you've only scored 4 points all season, and then 10. I mean, is this like the Jackson Brenchley game? People are calling it. Is
that the thing? No, but I mean, I just haven't had that opportunity really all year, and I'm just grateful it came today, and I was able to produce and ultimately just get a win. That's all I was trying to do is win today, and that's it.
Ben, it seemed like your shots were falling. It seemed like things were working, right? You were in the flow of things. Just what was working tonight for you?
Yeah, I think just sticking with my shot, just being ready to shoot. Been working on it a lot in the gym, and I felt like today they were going in. My teammates were getting me good looks. So just keep staying at it, keep shooting the ball.
For both of you guys, the season's been full of peaks and valleys, right? 3 wins, 3 losses, up and down. What have things been like from the players' end, just trying to manage those peaks and valleys?
I mean, that's kind of how the season goes. Like, it's not always going to be good. It's not going to be bad all the time. You just kind of have to manage it. We've had a lot of good stretches and had some rough stretches too, but I think you learn from that, and that's what helps you. Like, once you get into March and the tournaments, is being able to manage those games. If things aren't going well, get back on track. So I think you learn from it. I think it helps our team for like when things, like when we get into the tournament and stuff in March. So I think we learned a lot from it, honestly.
Yeah, just like staying positive too. We got the next, I think 5 or 6 games or something like that is quad 1. So we have a big opportunity ahead, and we can't feel bad about losing 2, feel bad about this. We got big opportunities to try to make a push. So that's why we got to stay positive and stay locked in.
You mentioned the quad 1 opportunities coming up. Does it feel like everything is still possible? Everything is still in front of you?
Yeah, I mean, everything's still in front of us. Still the Pac-12 tournament as well. So there's no negativity. There's no sense of loss of hope. We're still together and still ready to go.
Why was it important for you guys, either of you, to get a win going into the bye week?
I mean, I think just anyone is big. You just want to keep stacking them, especially at this time of the year. That's when it's important to try to make like a run towards the end of the year into the tournaments and stuff. So any win is a good win, regardless of how you get it. If it's a tough win, like a blowout win, just gotta take what you can get at this time, I think, and just keep rolling it, keep stacking those wins.
Ben, does every guy on the team have the kind of green light to shoot 3-pointers? I know you were 3 of 4 tonight, but you haven't taken a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think when your opportunity's there.
Does Kayla?
I mean, Kayla's probably the only one who does it, but he'll get there.
He calls himself a shooter. We have shootouts after every practice, or me and him do, and probably other dudes too.
Yeah, Kayla will get there, but yeah. I mean, I think that's what coach recruits, guys who can do everything past dribble shoot, so I feel like all the guys are pretty confident in themselves, so when they get the opportunity, we can shoot and knock them down, so.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Sorry, back-to-back losses, but you guys were able to respond with a win today and a big win. What is it right now at this point in the season that you guys like the most about your team?
I think our locker room is still really good. Our chemistry is really, really good, and there's no one behind the scenes, behind doors, saying this, saying that. It's really, we're all locked in, and we're all still focused on our goal. We're all unified in that goal, and I think that could ultimately help us, win games. Just that camaraderie. So, I don't know. That's what I think. Really good locker, really good teammates, no egos, no nothing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, and just our defense too. I hang our hats on defense. I know we saw a thing like we're 3rd in the country in defensive field goal percentage, and I think that'll help us win games, especially coming up against really good teams. If our shots aren't falling, we can fall back on our defense, because I think that's kind of what we pride ourselves on. So,
Jackson, sorry about the kind of personal question, but have you decided on your future yet? Are you going to be here next year? Or?
No, I haven't decided at all.
Okay.
I'm just focused on, I haven't been in the tournament yet. I've been here 4 years. This is my 4th year, no tournament. So I really want to get there. I really want to do anything I can to, help this team reach that goal and, play in March.
That's 23.
I just turned 24.
Oh.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Not just, but a few months ago.
Well, it's good. It feels good to get back on track. What a game of beauty tonight, depending on your perspective. But you know what? At the end of the day, we took care of business. I loved how we guarded. I thought we really, really guarded well tonight, and truly got back to who we are and what we are. I thought we just made life very, very difficult for them on that end of the floor. Hold them to 34% from the field and 23% from the three. All right, going 4 for 17. So did a good job playing hard without fouling. We felt like their best offense is getting to the free throw line. They do get downhill and play an attack, and we held them, to 8 free throw attempts on the game, and obviously they only made 4 of those. So that was big. And then offensively, our numbers don't just jump out at you, certainly, but the silver lining there, 7 turnovers again. We've really done a great job of taking care of the ball. The last 3-4 weeks, we've been very, very good valuing possessions in terms of not taking care of the ball, or in terms of taking care of the ball. And then we still scored at over a point of possession, which is usually good. That's a good barometer for us, or a good benchmark for us. Obviously, we couldn't make a shot there in the first half. We had a couple right at the rim where we missed, but we had some wide open threes that just didn't fall. And I thought they were rhythm shots. They were good shots. They were clean shots. So we just, stayed poised and talked about it like, hey, just keep doing what we're doing. Those things are going to fall. And then obviously we started throwing some in and making some, and that stuff can be contagious that way. So I thought Jackson Brenchley was outstanding tonight and really was a great spark for us. And he's going to need to continue to be that. Jackson is, I've said this many times to you guys, how much better he's gotten. And he just hasn't had the playing time to be able to necessarily demonstrate that on game day. And so it was fun to see. Obviously Gabe's going to be out for a while. Boston Holt was not available to play on Thursday against Stanford. Eli was out tonight. And so we just felt like, Jackson has a great look. He's a veteran guy. His leadership, his experience, and his passion. Just felt like we needed a lot of things that he brings to the table, and he was outstanding tonight. And then Ben Carlson sticks 3 threes. He's been working his off, getting extra shots up in the gym. He's really been working hard at his game. And I thought it showed. He made a couple jumpers the other night against Stanford, and obviously tonight he makes 3 of them. So he's been sneaky. He's been his scoring. He's not always like the sexy pick, so to speak, because his scoring numbers haven't obviously averaged 4 or 5 points a game, but it's very clear and evident that he's getting better. Just the things that he's doing on the defensive end of the floor. He's always been a good rebounder. And now it's nice to see that he's been able to step in and knock some shots down. And we're going to, quite frankly, need that here coming down the stretch. So it's good to get back on the right side of the win-loss column, and hopefully we can carry some momentum here. And honestly, going into the bye week, we need that. It's kind of a weird year where, we're in week whatever it is, and it's our first bye week, and I think we need it. We just got to get our legs back under us and get some recovery here and as we go into the home stretch.
Coming out of Thursday, what compelled you to extend Jackson for as long as you did tonight? He played 26 minutes.
Well, first of all, like I said, Jackson's he's clearly gotten better, and I know I've said that many times. But it just felt like our team needed, off the bench, it just felt like we needed some veteran experience, some real experience. He's been, he played a lot as a freshman, a little bit less as a sophomore, played a lot for us down the stretch last year. He's a smart kid. He's tough. He loves to run in Utes. And he's really improved his jump shot. And I'm sure you saw that tonight. The first one rims down and out. And then he sticks the next two. He's just a tough-minded kid that's instinctive. Got 3 offensive rebounds for us, which were big plays for us, specifically in that first half. Got a couple and ones. So he was playing really well. Like, you produce, you perform, you play. And he just felt like it was time. A lot of other guys have had opportunities, and you got to seize those moments, and I'm really happy for him and for our team that he was able to do that.
Seemed like the start, you were a little listless. I think they got up 18-11. Connie Capani, however you say
Yeah.
it, was hurting you a little bit.
He was.
You make adjustments. What did you do to kind of, besides putting in Jackson, kind of get
Yeah.
you guys going?
Well, so specifically with him, it's interesting because I forget names, but number 33 didn't play for them tonight. And we had talked about 13 he's an aggressive guy. Like, he's an aggressive player, and he's very long and just kind of sneaky. So 2 things we did. 3 things we did. One, we changed our screen roll coverage on him, so he couldn't just get downhill and get to his kind of like, he's got a pretty good little pull-up game at 15 to 17 feet, and he's so long, it's hard to stop when he gets to the rim. So we just tried to get him off attack that way. That was 1. 2, Raleigh started guarding him quite a bit. And then 3, we just really addressed it like, guys, what are we doing? Like, this guy, he had 9 of their 18 points at that point when they were up 18. That's what we said in that timeout. It's like, he is kicking our, like, somebody's got to have some urgency out here to take on the challenge to stop him, because he's taking it right to us. And so we did 3 different things, and then I thought we, neutralized them.
Craig, on Thursday you acknowledged the fact that you shortened the rotation, right? You
Yeah.
went 6 and then 7, 8, 9, and then tonight was kind of the same thing, right? You extended 6 guys, Caleb a little bit, Will a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you envision that being the case moving forward?
I don't want it to be. I want to be able to play guys. I want to be able to have a bench. So the guys got to be able to prove it consistently, and that's what'll be good this week. Like, we're going to get some, we'll see how we're going to do this week, but we'll get some good practice time in here and hopefully get our legs back. And then for the guys that haven't been playing much, get them some good time in the gym. I will say, 2 of the last 3 practices, some of these bench guys have really have performed well, and so now we need them, to consistently carry it over into the game. But we need to have a bench. You go into that conference tournament, you got to be able to have some depth, right? You got to be able to have some depth to win 3 games in 3 days or 4 games in 4 days.
Kind of along those lines, Lazar Stefanovic, whether he is coming in off the bench or in a starting role, do we not celebrate him enough for all the stuff that he does, including the way he communicates on the court?
Yeah, Steph's a really good player. Steph's so versatile, so skilled, so intelligent. You guys, he is. I've said this many times over the last year and a half, but he's brilliant. Like, he's got borderline photographic memory. Like, you tell him something one time, it gets done. He's very hard on himself. He really cares. He really works hard at taking care of his body. Things that a lot of 19-year-olds, 19 or 20-year-olds don't always value, right? With when we were walking in the shoot around today, we just happened to kind of cry. We were just right by each other and walked in and said, "How's your body feel?" He goes, "Coach, I'm good. I'm 20 years old. I can recover pretty fast." But he also really, if you come watch a practice, he'll usually get a bunch of shots up after practice, and then he'll be in there for another half hour, just doing all of his recovery and mobility and stretching, and he's very, very diligent with that. I think he has great self-awareness to know who he is. He knows he's not an electric athlete, so to speak, right? So, but he's a great decision maker, except for that last play, his last turnover. He's a guy that can guard a lot of positions, and he's locked into like shoot around what they're trying. You heard his voice a lot today. I thought him and Raleigh, you really could hear those 2 guys' voice when they called a play. Our guys, for the most part, knew what was coming, and they were echo calling it to their teammates. So when your guards are able to do that, makes everybody quicker, right? If you know it's coming, you're more quicker, you're instinctive. So he makes a lot of winning plays that always don't get noticed.
The fact that Lazar at his age knows how to take care of his body, how much is that is, the part of the world he grew up in where the game is taken seriously and, he has that professional experience. How much of that has he brought to, this program?
Yeah, him and Luca played at a really high level over there. It's an adjustment, and Steph will tell you that. And so will Luca coming over here because the game's played differently,
right.
And it's a very high level and more athletic as a whole. But the thing that those two guys specifically have had is they've played against some men. Like they played, you see Luca out there, the other night he has 3 fouls in 3 minutes. Like, well, he's used to a physical, rugged game. So Steph, once he's settled in, and it's funny just watching game film from last year how young he looks. He still looks young, but that's the growth and maturity as you're building your program. When you recruit freshmen to their sophomore, there should be a big jump. And then the sophomore to junior should be a really big jump, right? And it's hard in society today to have patience sometimes for that process. But it is a process, and guys get better if they commit to it. And Steph is doing things he couldn't do a year ago. And now you're really seeing it. I mean, just part of it's his minutes played, right, with Gabe being out. And that's what we said. We knew Steph was going to be just fine. It's the next guys, right? But having that experience and very tough coaching and very good coaching in his home country of Serbia. It is very good coaching, but his experience, I remember calling him, he'd already committed, but I got hired. He was like, Coach, they're making us run 12 miles on the treadmill today. And I'm like, before practice? After? He goes, oh no, before practice. And I was like, you're going to be just fine over here. You know what I mean? Like, because he just is. He's a very focused, tough kid.
Your guys were able to answer after back-to-back losses with obviously the win today and a good win. What do you like about this team right now at this point in the season? What do you like about it?
Yeah, we took care of business tonight. When you lose 2 in a row, like things can snowball quickly in this league. When you're typically playing 2 road games, 2 home games, things can snowball really good or really bad. You're playing 2 games in 3 days. There's a lot that can go well or wrong. And so, we're right now we're a little bit different team. So, without having Madsen in it, it's one thing when you don't have some key guys early because you kind of grow that way. But then when a key guy, you lose him at this time of year in February, that throws a whole different wrench into some things. So now, just with your rhythm of your rotations, your rhythm of roles, and that goes back to what I said with Steph. We weren't worried about that piece. It's the bench and getting those guys and figuring out who's going to be able to make it and contribute and who's not. And then sometimes you get to this time of year in February, some guys are like, man, I love this season. It's so much fun. And then you get some guys that are like, all right, we got a month to go, and I'm not saying that to read too much into that. We have a good group, but you're always monitoring those sorts of things. So I think where we're at is I think we know some things that we are, and now we got to still kind of keep looking at who can really impact winning, consistently. And that goes back to what Josh just asked about your bench, right? And we got to be able to figure out, our bench and understand who and how we can contribute that way, because it's hard when it's a game-to-game thing.
Right.
And that's the beauty of this week, having some practice time.
And that was my next one with that. You said it's very important for us to have the win momentum going into the bye week. Mm-hmm. Why is that important for your group of guys? Well,
first of all, you got to take care of business at home. Like the old cliche, you got to sweep at home. If you're like going into tonight, there was 10 league games this week. 8 games won by the home team, right? We lost to Stanford, and Oregon beat Arizona State. So you got to take care of business at home. Like, it's such a premium. And then I know it's cliche-ish, but if you go on the road and if you can find a couple ways to get some sweeps, that's huge. But you got to, to go where you want to be, and that's, the top, then you got to be able to at least split. So, like, this is a team we needed to win, obviously. And the beauty of our schedule coming up, everything's still in front of us. And we told the team that after the game tonight. Like, Colorado's always a team that eliminates losing. You got to beat them to beat them, right? And then we're going to probably have 4 quad 1 games in a row, most likely. Right? It's going to be 4 straight quad 1 games, and then we'll see where Colorado is. If they knock off some people, that could eventually, I mean, for sure going to be quad 2, but outside shot at quad 1. So that's a good thing for us, though. But it's going to be tough. Like, it's our toughest stretch of the season right now, coming up.
Craig.
So we had to take care of business tonight and gain some momentum.
Sorry.
You don't have to apologize.
The timeline that was announced on Gabe was 4 to 6 weeks.
Yep.
Has Trevor or anybody else in on this injury indicated whether the front end of that timetable is possible to get him back for the Pac-12 tournament?
They've not said that. The doctor and Trevor, I mean, the Trevor's just, regurgitating what the doctor said, 4 to 6 weeks. And I'm kind of looking at him like, one of those deals. I mean, that's what I have to go with. I have always said, like, good athletes, and Gabe's a good athlete, good athletes recover quick. Now, I don't know what that means, right? Like, but don't read any more into that. There's no like, hey, we're saying 4. There's none of that. It's 4 to 6. They've been firm on that. So we'll just see. I know I do know this. That dude, just like we talked about Step, like, Gabe is relentless with recovery and rehab and getting in the gym, and he will do every possible thing because he's so disciplined and he loves to play and compete. So I know this. He'll be back as fast as humanly possible for him. But we got to operate. That's 4 to 6 weeks, and if it's quicker, then it's quicker. And I know how sometimes these doctors work, and I love doctors, but they love to throw it out there, and then if it's shorter, they're the hero. No, I'm kidding. That's off the record. I'm kidding.